I haven't put all my gear on a thing yet. How do you do pushbacks without the ATC? Shift P. Shift P. Okay, let's see. So boost pumped on. Manual. Battery. It's kind of hard to read from this angle. There we go. Main standby. Looks good. All pressures finally come up. We're heading up to Texas. Is where we're going. Okay, I think that's right. Leaders on. 28 Celsius outside. What's next? Shipping. Shipping's a bit slow. We've got a 283 wind here, so we're not taking out a 1-0. That's for sure. We're going to go out with 2.8, I think. Okay. Flight plan. Let that load in. What did we say altitude was going to be? 2.9er? I think it was. Why doesn't it have a touchscreen? Or why does it have a touchscreen? Well, this one does. But the reason planes don't have a touchscreen like this is because in a real plane, you're often getting thrown around like this and you can't be touching things. It's bad enough trying to hold onto a dial. That's the real reason. So 9-0 was where we're going. Let's have a look at our vertical profile. Vokes. So 10, like there's a peak en route that's almost 10,000 feet. Look at that. That's pretty tall. Having said that, when we get in, there's quite an elevation. What's the elevation of the airfield? Stockton. 3,000 feet. Blimey. Interesting. Yeah, SG 3000 is exactly right. Alright, so we're going to take off out of 2.8. So we'll put the heading bug onto 2.8. We're going to be in nav mode when we get up there, V-speed mode. Flight director's going on. Okay. Think we're ready to taxi. Taxi light's going on. Was a website with altitudes. I'm not sure which one you mean, sir. This means sim brief. Okay, FS economy is still alive. We're now 5 Class 2B patient. Class 2B patients? Is this like coronavirus patients or something? Oh, we're cruising it to flight level 290. What is this guy doing? He's literally like... Firefight. Whoa! You crazy loon. Trying to cause a fire? Unbelievable. Mexican firefighters, eh? Bored Mexican firefighters. I really don't trust this guy. I think we might have to go down to the bottom and then backtrack. Garmin puts handholds to brace yourself. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah. Oh my god. I want to leave Mexico right now. You flew to Istanbul in Greece. I've been to Istanbul and I went to Athens in the sim. Athens is amazing. Okay, 2-8 identified. Under lights, nav and strobes are all on. Taxi lights off. Pitot heat is all on. Approach is clear. Do we want to do the full backtrack? Yeah, let's do it. No, using FSE, not Honor. People keep banging on about Honor. You know it's a paid for one. You can grip the GTN 750 by the sides with your pinky and thumb and use the rest of the screen easily with the rest of your fingers. Yeah, I used a, when I flew, there's a Cessna 172 at Earl's Cone which has a Garmin, is that 530? It's like a mini touchscreen. It's a bit of a pain bouncing around. Right, let's see. Flaps set for takeoff. Trim set for takeoff. It's all down here. There you go, trim set for takeoff. Put a trim and aileron trim look center. Fuel has been loaded. No, not 4D. One of the reasons is the Garmin in the sim is not fully functional. Right, runway 28. Okay, altitude set, heading bug set. Flight directors are all on. Takeoff flaps and trims, gird lights are set. Okay, we're going to climb, slow right turn. And we'll put the bank mode on half. Let's do this. Wow. Over torqued straight away. Right, power set. It's a really sensitive rudder. Gears coming up. Wow, look at those mountains. They look really nice. Okay, flaps coming up. It's a bit bumpy. Okay, yaw damper on, autopilot on, the airspeed pickup. And climb. Weather's better in Mexico than UK, it's not difficult. Okay, let's go for climb power. Okay, VS 1000, autopilot, yaw damper, FMS. Hey, it's really, really, really bumpy, look at it. Let's have a look at what we just left. I don't know how much my setup is. I try not to think about that. Matty H, thank you for almost 4 years. I found out my CPU can't run the games, so time for a PC upgrade. Well, seems like a good time for one. If you're looking at graphics cards though, remember, Nvidia's got an announcement on Tuesday, which I'll be streaming live. Yeah, it is really, like, it's 21 Celsius outside and it's 4,000 feet. That's how warm it is around here. It's crazy. Slightly overdone bumpiness, maybe, I don't know. Visible cloud ahead. We need to get the radar on. Alright, so we need to, if we keep climbing, we should get up above all of this. I don't know, Solid Smoker. I've got an SEP rating. Technically, this is a single engine, but it's not a piston. It's a turbine. Turboprop, so I think I probably need some training. In theory, it shouldn't ice up at this temperature, but this is Microsoft Flight Sim. Rate of climbing at TBM. Normally about 1500 is what you'd go for. Blue skies, let's go. Oh yeah. A bottle of de-icer handy. Should be fine, that Matty, I think. It's well above its minimum. Pretty certain minimum was like a 970 or something. That's a chunky cloud. What's the ETA? I don't know, bro. Oh, that's a nice view. That looks like a, I don't know, maybe like an old volcano or something. The only thing is, like, if you look in the distance, see those clouds, the way they do the like this weird dithering pattern on them, they need to sort that out, because that spoils the effect a little bit. It's like some overdone texture thing. It needs to get smoothed out. You can see it there, look. Like, all this is all fluffy, and then you get these really weird dark patches that look badly dithered. I'm currently gaming this at 2560 by 1080. That's then being shrunk down, but the ratio's kept. So you see a 21:9 image right there. And then I use the space at the bottom for all the other stuff. And that way you literally don't miss out on anything that I can see. Look at this cloud, man. Let's climb a little quicker, try and get above this. Get out of the way of this. So normally you don't get turbulence like that above the clouds, you get it below the clouds. You get like the rising air. But above the clouds you don't tend to get it, it tends to be quite smooth. It's not the stream codec, no. It's just a bit weird. To me, it even looks weird. What's the transition altitude in Mexico? Does anybody know? Some bit of weather here. I'm gonna go with 10,000. Let's go standard. I don't know, Langerville. I'm using SimConnect and it's fine. $18,500? Really? That is properly weird. Okay, hang on. Let's go back to local pressure then. 18,500. Mr. Killer1264, thank you very much for subbing. Mr. Squirrels brought me a cup of tea and a little chocolate roll. Yeah, the US is 18. The UK is a lot lower. It'll vary from airport to airport. It could be 5, it could be 6. Yikes. This plane is getting chucked around way too much. It really shouldn't be like this. What planes have you flown IRL? 3. Robin HR200. Sorry, I've flown 4. A Robin HR200, a Cessna 152, a Cessna 172, and what was that one? It was like a Cicata type thing. You know the Cicatas, the what do they call, like the TB? They have like a square dashboard. They're really French. I can't remember the name of it now. And a Piper Alpha Warrior 2. I think 5 in total. Yeah, I think it was a TB10. It's very similar to a TB10. It was a quite a lesser known airframe, but it's very similar to a TB10. It's like a cross between a TB10 and a DR400. Just need to watch the torque as we climb. You look like Tyson Fury. Okay. Is this the end of X-Plane? I doubt it. X-Plane's got a loyal following. However, I think X-Plane will probably survive better than P3D. I think once, you know, once your PMDGs, flight factors and all the rest, and once they've all moved their planes onto this sim, I really don't think P3D will be flown that much compared to Microsoft Flight Sim. The downside, like, the real problem is that a lot of people have invested in a platform, so they've spent lots and lots of money on a platform, and they don't want to let it go. Oh, dude, Steve-O's video yesterday was so good. He basically flies to the space launch, to an airfield right next to the SpaceX launch pad, and then watches an Atlas rocket fire off. It's so good. Great video. Right, standard pressure finally. Landing light is off. Hopefully things will settle down. His approach was close to it. Really was. He was like flying like this massive red area on the map where he, like, you fly in there and you're going to have a bad day. Like a big restricted area, and he had to come in and stay like really close to it and then cut short his base leg. But it's a really good video. I love watching his videos, like, they're really chill. He's such a good pilot. And he does, like, he puts the work into the editing as well, goes to interesting places, flies a TBM, scumbag. Like, his videos are just great. Steve01 Canevo, Jim. Definitely check him out. It's literally Steve01 Canevo. And he flies a TBM 850, I think it is, IRL, commercial pilot. But he makes great videos. And the last one he put out was fantastic. No, you'll really enjoy it, Jim. You really will, honestly. I guarantee. Or your money back. But the last one he put out yesterday was probably one of his best. Finally, we've got some smooth air now. Still climbing. Torque's good so far. Yeah, he puts in some nice music. I'd say what I quite like though, the what's it called? That skateboard he's got. It's called like a battle board or something. It's literally like a powered skateboard. So when he gets off the plane, he gets this electric booster board. That's a boosted board. When he gets off the plane, he gets on this boosted board and it just kind of zips him around. It's such a good idea. The refurbished in Earlscombe with a new bar. Yeah, I think they have refurbished it. I've not been to Earlscombe for a while. But I think they have refurbed the inside completely because of COVID. They had to transform everything, so they took the opportunity to get like a new bar area, I think. That is some pretty nasty weather going on right now. Big lake though. Not Up. I love this. I love the name of that. Not Up. M2A2. It's been a bit since the stream. Life got crazy dealing with a crazy ex. Getting engaged to my fiancée and going to be starting my dream job on Monday. Alright. Dealing with a crazy ex and now you're getting married again? GG. Why can't I see that video? I only got a video for 2 weeks ago. I have no idea, Benna. Just go to his channel, click on videos and you'll see them. Hope we get a break in the cloud. I think the weather over Arizona was pretty good, so I'm kind of hoping Texas will be fine as well, although... You know, that Hurricane Laura went through it not long ago, so who knows? What aircraft do you prefer to use track IR? I generally run track IR when I either want to look around because of the scenery, or I need to look around, you know, because I'm coming in on an approach, you know, on a base leg or something, and being able to look over is just really, really handy. The hurricane was mostly on the coast. Yeah, I think it came in and went northeast, so in theory we should be alright. You gonna run the Laura Aftermath? No. I just don't want to get smashed by it. Folks, so UD log, top of climb. We also had Stockton to put in, 116.9er, which we need to put into the nav page. It's on nav 1. ZLO. Really? It's picking up that on the same frequency? That's bizarre. Well, when we get towards a destination, that should light up. That's the VOR we're looking for. The game has almost exact frequencies, but not quite. What do you mean? Is there AI traffic? You can have no traffic at all. You can have AI traffic and slide it up to different levels for airliners and GA, and it will generate traffic. And then you can put it on live traffic, where it will look at the real world and put that traffic into the sim. However, pre-corona there would have been a lot more live traffic flying around, whereas now there's not as much. And also the model matching's a bit off, so it might see, like, I don't know, a 737 in the real world, and it might draw it as a Cessna 172 or whatever. What do you think about the yoke? Yeah, it's pretty good. Right, we're coming up. I was about to say we're coming up on our cruise, so we need to look at the torque, and it was just about flashing. You wish there was GA traffic? Pretty certain there is. You just saw a Delta flight leaving the gates. There's a Cessna. There you go. I don't know what their plans are in terms of model matching, but I kind of feel like one of the first add-ons you're going to see is a model matching add-on. Like a proper one. A community one, I would have thought. Kieran, thank you, 21 months. Well, at the end of the day, Asobo can't do everything. They've got to focus on the platform and let others bolt that stuff on, I think. Imagine like a massive list of requirements, like things that you want the sim to do. And then you've got to find what you can do in a certain delivery date. And that's literally what they've done. They've gone, like, we can do this stuff, and then all this stuff we're going to have to leave to the future. You believe model matching is an option as generic AI planes on or off? Could be. Aerosoft have released a freeware Paderborn airport mod. I know Obex have released a free airport. I didn't see the Aerosoft one. Applejack, thank you for subbing, welcome. Get a break in the clouds, we might see some stuff. Yeah, they broke a few things, Chili Bass, between the preview and the live build, but they're going to fix it, I think. I mean, my guess is, in the run-up to going live, they were all very tired. Working long hours and mistakes were made, and they've probably just come back off vacation. And W4, I'm just configuring the buttons as hotkeys. No special plugin. It would be nice to have a special plugin, but I guess we're going to have to wait for that. Or maybe somebody can build something that uses SimConnect or FSUI PC and bridges the Stream Deck to the sim. Because if I make that window the focus and I press a button here, like say the instrument view, it's not going to do anything because it's sending that key press to this window. Whereas if it was properly sim connected, it would send it directly to the sim. Welcome back, M2A2. It's how Microsoft have been releasing games for many years, release now, fix later. Well, it's kind of slightly better than the Dovetail approach, which is release now, don't fix later. So, it pays your money. I don't know, Stefan. I'd like to think so. Or how about some other franchises? Release now, release the same thing with a different name next year. Release the same thing with a slightly different name the year after that. Or just keep adding 17, 19, 21, or 18, 19, 20. Just like literally just keep adding a moniker onto the end of the name and release it as a brand new product full price, and don't touch the previous one. And in between, just chuck out some DLC at variable quality. Rinse and repeat. I'm sure we all know titles that do that, right? No, it's not really about airliners and FS economy. They don't really scale to that level properly. Oh, Project Cars 3. I'm not being funny, Vardinator. Project Cars 3, I saw coming a mile away. Even to the point where I think they emailed me and said, "Do you want to make a video or a stream on this?" And I went, "I'm too busy." I'm like, I ain't touching that. And then it came out, and yeah, I think it's been universally panned. Like, it's not good. It's not a good sim, and it's not a good arcade game. It's just like, what is this? I don't know. They've just ruined the Project Cars name. Absolutely ruined it. Having said that, I was very surprised when Project Cars went from 1 to 2. I always thought there'd just be a Project Cars. That's what people backed. Like, many people, including myself, kickstarted that thing. Gave them the money they needed to get the project off the ground, and then they just went with a version 2 and just asked for money again. It was all a bit weird. Hodrim, thank you, sir. Thanks for tutorials on YouTube. I wish you could also play the game tutorials to serve as an example of what you taught. Is this something you intend to do? Nope. No, I'd rather just do my own thing. I've not even tried the tutorials, if I'm completely honest. How do you get the weather to show up on the middle display? So, come down to this console, or this one, and then choose MFD, which is what that screen is, MFD. Instead of map settings, you choose weather. It will then display the weather. Click it again, and you can choose between the overlay map, the horizontal view, or the vertical view. If you want to turn it off, just click on map. And if you want to zoom it, you can zoom it as well. It kind of looks like, you see this here, it looks like the precipitation is going to clear up fairly soon. Which will be nice. Welcome back, Kieran. Can you make airline? I'm not sure what that means. Red is just rain. No. It has different levels of rain. It's best if you look at this one, see? There's a scale. No rain, light rain, medium rain, heavy rain. What the heck was that? That we just hit some wake turbulence? What are V-Bucks? Virtual bucks, they're what you earn in FS economy. What would you want Farm Sim to do to change it up? Something approximating Spin Tire's mud physics. Or you can, you know, actually leave furrows in the ground. The tractor physics feels real. Systems on board are implemented inside tractors so you can get in and actually use the proper systems. More authentic maps. Better lighting, better rendering. Good weather systems. Dynamic weather. Seasons. More detailed crops. I mean, I don't know. A lot, frankly. Yeah. Basically redo the game properly instead of patching it every 2 years. That'd be nice. Like, the problem is like they do a PC version and the next year they focus on console, and then they come back and then, you know what I mean? Like, well, unfortunately, again, they've never had a challenger. They've never had a competitor. A couple of farm sims came along and it was like, hallelujah. They're actually going to give them some competition and push this thing forward, and then they just fell away. I'm curious, do pilots ever get bored of what seems like interminable tedium droning on for league upon league? Here's the thing, right? So I often wonder the same question when I watch people knitting. I think to myself, how can you sit there just doing knit, 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 and then you get to the end of the line and you hook it and then you go back again. You're like knit, 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 knit. And they seem to do it for hours. And then they produce like a scarf or like a piece of a jumper for a baby or something. And I think to myself, how can you do that? That's just... the tedium is amazing. But here's the thing. They love doing it. They absolutely love doing it. They love making these things. They love the relaxing experience of doing it. There's actually many different challenges in knitting. There's different kinds of, you know, loops you can do, and you wouldn't believe it. Like, my mum was well into it. And so here's the thing, right? One person's salt is another person's sugar. I like doing this. Lots of people like doing this. If you find it utterly boring, I suggest that you go and watch a stream of something that you really enjoy. Exactly. Different strokes, different folks. Find what you love doing and do that. When flying a plane, is there always a gauge to be monitored or an ATC to talk to? If you're doing it for real, there are, like, particularly airliners, you're constantly being handed off to different regions as you fly along. So you're always in touch with some ATC. And then there are checks that you have to do. I think on an airliner, like every half an hour or an hour or something, they're going to be checking engine, they're going to be checking fuel, they're going to be checking things are nominal, basically. So you can't just, like, the pilot and first officer can't just have a nap. Let me put it that way. And in fact, on the long haul, there's like 3 of them and they rotate. There's got to be 2 in the cockpit and then 1 resting. Because there's only so many hours they're allowed to do. Sounds like a stitch-up, yeah. Knit 1, purl 1. I remember when I was a kid, my mum showed me that. She showed me how to knit, and then she showed me how to do a purl. And it's something to do with the way you loop it back. I even back as a kid, I remember being bored by knitting. I think I did about 10 lines, and I was like, yeah, I'm bored of that. I'm not doing that. But she used to buy these, like, patterns. You know, how, like, it was like painted by numbers almost. Like, there'd be some brochure with a woman wearing, like, a knitted top or something. And then inside would be all the instructions how to do it. It's crazy. And you look at it, it's like machine code. It was literally coded. We had to do knitting at school. All the boys in the class were horrified. Yeah, but then when it comes to metalworking, all the boys are like, yeah. I remember doing metalworking at school, and I was really excited, and then they got us to make a metal ashtray. I was like, what? Yeah, but you get to engrave it as well. Can't we make something more interesting than an ashtray? Imagine that now, an ashtray. Education authorities have a fit. I think they actually gave us a choice about what you could make, and my mum just said, why don't you make me an ashtray? Because I couldn't think of anything. So I made her an ashtray. Yeah, you could make, like, I don't know, I wanted to make something interesting, like a little box or something like that, you know. Something with hinges on it and a clasp. Just something interesting. You made a windy spin, a tiny metalworky thing. Nice. Oh, do you know what? I would love to have done pottery. I really would have loved... I'd love to do pottery now if I had time. There's a TV series called, like, Great Pottery Showdown, I think it's called. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's so good. Can't believe what they can make. Yeah, Great Pottery Throwdown, that's it. And they take some clay and they throw it in the middle, wet your hands, and then just like make this thing into a shape. It's just amazing. I reckon you've got a pretty strong, like, Popeye forearms, though, you know? You've been watching The Repair Shop? Not seen that. I've been watching, what's that TV series I've been watching? It's about your rubbish, your waste, your trash, your garbage, whatever you want to call it. It's about what they do with it and how it's dealt with. It's fascinating. Like the landfills and the recycling centres and the different problems they face. It's really, really good. You really wish they'd taught us to rewire a plug. Do you know what, Gregis? I learned to rewire a plug when I was 7. Not joking. Imagine that now. Like, all the plugs, like, when I was a kid, most appliances didn't come with a plug. Yeah, and so, because my dad was never around, my mum hadn't got a clue how to do it. I was basically the one that had to rewire everything. So there was I, like 7, 8 years old, just rewiring appliances and plugs and stuff, learning about fuses. Nowadays, it's like, oh, don't touch that, get a qualified electrician in. But it's, yeah, I agree, like, they should teach all of that stuff. Yeah, the weather's thinning out now. They should teach all of that stuff in school. Instead of learning about utter nonsense that you're never going to need, teach you actual skills. Yeah, well, this is the thing. They never teach you about taxes and investments and pensions and how to rewire plugs. They never teach you all of that stuff, which is going to be so useful to you later in life. They don't teach you that. Instead, they try to teach you to remember, like, the you know, the birth years of various monarchs, and you're like, I literally don't care when King Henry VIII was born. Like, I honestly don't care. I used to hate that. I genuinely used to push back against stuff which I thought was pointless. Yeah, look at this, we can start to see stuff now. Maverick, thank you for subbing. Forged in Fire and History Channel. I'm not sure, actually. A lot of useful stuff should be taught by parents. That's simply not possible. There's lots of parents either don't have the time or don't have the knowledge. Like, imagine if you expect parents to teach their kids about investment when literally like 2/3 of the parents are like run up in credit card debt. How can they educate their kids on investments and pensions? History's important so we don't redo old mistakes. I don't disagree. But King Henry VIII's birth year is of no consequence. Bravo Whiskey, thank you for 23. I'm having a lot of fun with this sim. Me too. Right, we've got 116. Still showing ZLO at the moment. On nav1. Henry VIII was very important for the British monarch. Yeah, but Rogue, like, what consequence is it to us now? Like, why does it matter what year he was born? FST. That's Stockton. There's nothing in between these two. Once again, we have nothing in the way of descent profile. They're just less than meant to instill a sense of national identity. Do they? Do they though? I don't know. The thing is, I don't know, I found history more interesting as I got older. I was less interested in history when I was younger. It's like inversely proportional. The older I get, the more interested I get in history. But when I was like 12, I literally didn't care. I was interested in my life, not somebody else's 300 years ago. But that's just me. Some people were. Candy, thank you for 26 months. Why do anything academic technical? Because there's lots of things that you can learn that are useful. My point is not that you shouldn't learn stuff. My point is that it's better to learn stuff that is going to be useful to you in your lifetime. The monarchs are not useful to you in your lifetime unless you plan on studying history or it's of interest to you. Whereas like practical stuff, real practical stuff and real life, you know, financial training for later, how to handle money, you know, how to handle debts, what interest rates are, like all that stuff, you know, so you know what you're getting into when you borrow money. It's not taught at school. You leave school and you can go and get a credit card and you've not much clue about this APR 34.9. What the heck does that mean? But yet you can tell us when King Henry VIII was born. Well, great. Mr. Raidman, thank you for subbing. I'm all for learning. I really, really am. Everybody should never stop learning. But my point is more to do with what they make you learn. Man, just look at the land here. I think the weather's mostly to the west. We're out of all the soup. Yeah, TBM 930. No, we're doing a multiplayer flight tomorrow. I need to knock up a route tomorrow. We'll fly the evening stream tomorrow. We'll do a group flight. And also, I'll be live on Tuesday. Live streaming the NVIDIA launch and then an ASUS event as well. So we'll be live on Tuesday. So tomorrow, then Tuesday. 40 money. Learning pointless stuff is the backbone of our education system. I reckon it's because they can't think of what else to teach you. You need to flight sim. Do you have any route recommendations? Oh my god. So many. He was lucky to have a maths teacher that really spelled out why it's not smart to take a quick loan. Yup. They're the best teachers. Mr. Ryback, thank you for 73. New York, Tokyo, Athens, Madrid, London. Just, you know, San Francisco. Just fly over some of the great places initially. Yeah, Paris is a good one. New Zealand looks amazing. Chile looks amazing. South Africa, Cape Town looks amazing. There's just tons of places. And there's so many places you've not even been to yet. Epic Gamer, thank you for 16. Have you tried FS Economy yet? I'm just going to leave that there. So many great places to look at, you never run out of them. Yup. Did you look at the title on the way in, Vandals? Oh, I've not. Oh, I tell you what, did I go to Brisbane? Yeah, I took off out of Brisbane and flew up the Golden Coast. That looked good. I need to explore Australia, actually. I want to fly, I had a look at Melbourne. Not been... Oh, yeah. Sydney, I only did the water thing. Melbourne, I flew out of. Brisbane, along the coast a little bit, and that's it. How do you feel about night flying in Flight Sim for whenever I can't see a darn thing? I did a video called... What was that video called, guys? Like, VFR Night Flight or something, I called it. Where I basically took off out of Southend and flew VFR at night to London City. And, like, that's how I would do it in real life, essentially. It's like, follow the main roads. and yeah, it worked fine. So... it's entirely possible. Can't zoom out anymore yet. Should I be somewhat worried by this? Should I be worried by these bearing indications here? I've never heard of magnetic bearing -2. What the heck's that about? Is that its way of saying 358? How does that work? I mean, straight up. What, -2? It doesn't exist. That's a bit worrying. Well, 160 from Vokes. Let's have a look. I want that one. 106, we're probably about here then. Okay. Don't know where our top of descent point is, that's the problem. I don't know if you can work it out from this plan. Hang on, so EET is estimated en route time? 6 minutes, total 28. 2 minutes total 30. So after yokes, then it should be 36 minutes after yokes. But then we should be down at 1.9er. No, hang on, because top of descent's here. So I think this is saying after Vokes, 36 minutes later, we should be at our descent point. I think that's what it's saying. And if that's the case, we can actually start a timer at Vokes and then descend. Does that sound viable? Yeah, it's just reading that flight plan like the column, you know what I mean? So when we get to this waypoint here, Vokes, which we'll get to in 28 minutes, I think, then we start a timer, and 36 minutes after that we start descending, if I've got it right. I did say Vokes, I never said Yokes, I said Vokes. V. Vokes. Jeez, man. Your wallet's already crying at the NVIDIA announcements. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll take a few months before you can even get one. You can select a heading of -2, but it'll take 1.2 gigawatts to get it. Whoa. What a view. Look how smooth the air is here. This is beautiful. The rumor price of a 3090 is $1,400. Yeah, well, you know, you're complaining, Jelly. You're complaining, but that's $1,400. In the UK, do you know how much that'll be? That'll be like £1,400. And £1,400 is worth a lot more than $1,400. See, so we're going to pay 1.3 times the price that you pay. So stop complaining. Why would it cost 1,400 quid? Because it will. I guarantee it. I absolutely guarantee it. 3090 is replacing the Titan. If that's the case, then you won't need one. Like, nobody needs a Titan for gaming. It's a complete waste. It is the honeycomb Zentel shell. Well, the price of 2080's dropped. So if NVIDIA do what they did last time, when they brought out the 20 series, they can stop manufacturing the 1080 Ti's and stuff and told people they can't sell them. If they, you know, they literally like stop making the previous gen. So then what happens is those cards will go to a second-hand market, but they usually hold their price pretty well. This little heat haze here out the exhaust, so nice. Have a look at that. A look out of that window for a change. Your 1080 Ti is worth more than you paid for it. Yep. How bizarre is that? Do you know how to navigate with Nav 1 and Nav 2 radios? Yes. Don't know, Matty. We really don't know, mate. We'll find out on Tuesday. I buy shirts on eBay. Thank you for 5 months. The 1080 Ti was a fantastic card. I don't know yet, Danny boy. I need to make the next tutorial. They take a lot of work, you know. Tutorials are the most work of anything, really, because you've got to work out what it is you're trying to communicate. You've got to set it all up. You've got to structure the content. Like, they're really hard to make good tutorials. Oh yeah, the whole Bitcoin thing was what pushed up the prices of graphics cards. Like, this insanity around Bitcoin. I remember when the price on Bitcoin, what did it peak about? $19,000 or something. Just nuts. I don't have a video on it yet, DK, no. You bought at 18,700. Oh. It's just gambling. Buying Bitcoin's pure gambling. Tell you what, they're still getting smashed by rain over here. But the weather up here is fine. Hey, the only one who tries to clean the monster when looking out the squirrel's cockpit window. I don't know, Chico, you on about FSE? Well, you could, Noah. I mean, you can't get into debt if you invest money you have, but if you was to, like, I don't know, say you got some money on a credit card and then bought Bitcoin with it, and then the price crashed, well, you're still going to owe that credit card, right? I remember playing Black Wake with you, Devil Dog, Baron, and Fly. That probably... Playing Black Wake, the... Yeah, I did play that briefly with them. With Baron, Devil Dog, and Fly. Yes, that would have been me. I also played... with Devil Dog, I played... What's that space game? That indie space game where you're all in charge of a ship. That was quite fun. And we played Hunter as well, the original Hunter. White Sim Hero, thank you for gifting a sub to Sim User. No, not Star Citizen. Oh, what was it called? It was a ship that you was in, and one of you would man the engine, one of you would man the guns, one would be on pilot. No, not FTL. It was like a multiplayer. I made a video about it. Was it? No. I think it was Pulsar Lost Colony. I think. It's an indie game. It was a few years ago. We had a lot of fun with that. It was very rough around the edges back then. No, I wanted to try the Star Trek VR thing, but never got round to it. Thank you for 44 months, Andy Drew. Prickly Pete, welcome, sir. It was an interesting concept. They've kind of replicated it in a submarine sense now. There's a submarine game that you can play where you're all in charge of different parts of the submarine. So you have to be like properly coordinated. Mo Alcaf, thank you for 15. I think it's Wolfpack. Yeah. How did you meet Devil Dog? Via Armour and DayZ. When I used to play all Armour and DayZ, and he used to play it as well. Looks like we're getting out of the mountainous terrain. back into the more kind of fertile farmland. You're going to get some real wind in your hair, Zintas. What are you going to do? Run down the road? 162 Vokes. Or Yokes, if you prefer. Going to take the pooch for a walk. Go for a run. See if the pooch can keep up. Yeah, we used to play DayZ and Battlefield back in the day. Had some good squad action back then. Would the air be this smooth IRL? Yes. Yes, at high altitudes the air is often very smooth, unless the weather is particularly bad. Do you own that 930? In FS economy, yes. In real life, no. I wonder why the fields are so kind of crimson orange. Must be minerals in the ground. Battlefield, the good old days. Battlefield 3. Battlefield 4. And then after that, it just went off a cliff. So you know, there's the only way to check how long you have left on a flight distance view. Flight distance wise, I took off fully loaded the fuel, but I'm getting worried I won't have enough. I think you can press the navlog key. I don't know, it's a tricky one. The FMS thing doesn't seem to provide you with a way of, like, your total distance to the destination, the total ETE. It just shows your next waypoint. It's very annoying. I don't know if I just don't know or not. Yeah, Bad Company 2 was a fantastic game. I really loved Bad Company 2. Not so much the Vietnam expansion, but Bad Company 2 was such a wonderful game. I played so many hours of that game. Sniping, helicopters, oh my god. That was when DICE used to make really good games. And then EA came along and tried to make it into Call of Duty 2.1. Oh, Battlefield Hardline was utter nonsense. Biking 52k's on Monday. Noise. You're mad, but noise. I love the way they simulate the atmosphere so well, so it just, like, you know, as it gets into the distance, you just get the blue light scattering. It's incredible. Well, that's right, Vardinator. Like, if you look at modern shooters now, less so with the whole kind of battle royale style, but if you look at a lot of shooters, they are very much, you know, spawn frag, like literally very quick turnaround. Goat Simulator, I've no idea. Caspian Border. I don't know, some of the Bad Company 2 maps were amazing. There was a map set in Wales. What was it called now? It was like hills and it had a couple of wind turbines on it. That was a cracking map. There was some absolutely incredible maps in Bad Company 2. It's called like Heavy Iron or something. No, there isn't one. There isn't a really good tactical destructive war game. Like, they just don't make them now. Heavy Metal, that was it. Heavy Metal, that was the map. That's a beautiful map, that was. You used to be able to get in a chopper, fly up, and then parachute out and land on top of the wind turbine. And with the blade spinning past you, just sit there like sniping people. See, the great thing about those proper battlefield games was at the end of the battle, you could tell, looking at the map, you could tell there'd been a battle. Like, the buildings were just utterly wrecked. Have you tried Hell Let Loose or Postscriptum? I have. They're just not the same. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just want them to make Bad Company 2 all over again. Just do like a... Just take Bad Company 2 and then just bring it into the modern arena in terms of graphics and stuff. And then just tweak the things that were not so great about it and just release it and I'll buy it. But yeah, don't let any EA anywhere near it. Don't let the EA execs anywhere near it. Just give it to the developers and let them deal with it. Just like fully remastered that game, I would play that. One day they'll turn around and say they're going to remaster it. You notice a lot of people flying the 930 is at least buggy. I don't think that's the reason. The 930 is just such an interesting plane to fly, you know? It's quick. It's pretty much the quickest turboprop plane that you can get. They're so fast. And they're just a lot of fun. Right, we're coming up on Vokes. What was our timer? Worked it out once, 36 minutes. Not played the King Air very much, to be honest. Yep. It's funny though, you look at Steve-O's 850 and you look at this. There's quite a difference between his 850 and this. What, you can get a kit for it? Yeah, I wouldn't, personally. This is quick enough. I don't know, the King Air looks a bit old school for me, you know? A lot of valve switches. That's the one that has like a bank of switches here, isn't it? Probably all in-op. I don't mind, no. Pixel, I last went to Riyadh 2015 and 2016 and I think maybe 2017. I haven't been since, because it is literally the same show every year. How much is the honeycomb? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, we won't be going to Riyadh this year, that's for sure. Think you'll ever play Escape from Takeoff? I haven't installed it. I just don't have time. Wonderful game, but I just don't have time for it. Let's have a quick look at Stockton. So 296. So the actual correct entry for this is fly on a radial of 296 to, like, away from the VOR, descend down to 4800, and then basically do a right turn and head back on 116. Interesting. .3,000 elevation. I mean, we could try this. We could basically fly straight to Stockton. Hope the nav tunes in properly. Assuming it does. Actually, it's not picked it up yet. Nav 1's still empty now. So at some point it should pick up on Stockton. Fly straight to it. Head out on 296. Do a U-turn, come back. At 4800. Do a barrel roll. That's never been said before. Folks, 42. I do want to thank you for the Flight Sim tutorial series. Thank you, Jelly. I hope you're getting into it, mate. It's getting a bit cloudy here. Got a bit of precipitation going on again. Wow, that's changed so much. Look at that. That's gone from farmland to just desert. Mr. Heckley, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome. Do an aileron roll. It's more accurate. Do an elevator roll. Woohoo! Look at the way like these clouds are casting shadows on them mountains. Yeah, the main difference, Lens, between an aileron roll and a barrel roll is that in a barrel roll you maintain a positive G. That's basically the main difference. Thank you, Matthew, welcome back. You told your optometrist that the bifocals are a nightmare with track ARC, maybe a special pair of gaming spectacles that are focused on the exact distance to your monitor, so they're absolutely useless for any other application. But it's great to be able to see perfectly in games of track IR. Nice. This is really... Look at this. This cloud bank seems to sit right on top of this mountain and nowhere else. Is Tobii eye tracking supported? I don't believe so. Best game of the year so far. I think so. If this doesn't win an award, it's a tragedy. But then you'll have all the people standing at the back going, it can't win game of the year, it's a sim, not a game. Okay. It's sim of the year, you fool. Hey, if it goes on console, it's a game. No, you don't need to use Air Squirrel, no, nerdy. You can fly anything you want, and if you fly it for Air Squirrel, you'll give Air Squirrel a cut of the money. Which helps the group, which helps us to buy planes. It's literally just a collective effort of people to get money into the group so we can buy more planes and then ultimately buy FBOs and all the rest of it. All the stuff I've not even delved into. Welcome back, Crazy Anime Geek. As long as they beat FIFA and COD. What about Cyberpunk? I would have thought that Cyberpunk would win different categories, should we say, than Microsoft Flight Sim, but ultimately, I don't know, like in terms of Game of the Year, it's going to be a tricky one.